Hi everyone, this is Jim. Welcome to this holiday Blitz miniature. This is a special video. I show a miniature game. It's 21 moves in this case. These games can be pretty instructive just because, if a game ends so quickly that one side or the other must have made a pretty horrible mistake, and you get to see it punished. But before I get to the video, I wanted to say, since this is the last video of the year, that I think this was a really good year for my channel, and it's all thanks to you guys. What made it good for me was that I got a bunch of new subscribers. Seems to have a regular group of followers who listen to the videos, watch the videos, and comment on them, and give them likes. So I appreciate all of that. That is great. And it's really motivating. I mean, I enjoy making these videos anyway, but it's really nice to know that there are people who appreciate these videos and get something useful out of them. At the end of this video, I'll talk some more about my plans for next year, but I think that'll do it for now. I'll get on with the game. I just wanted to make sure I got those thanks in right at the beginning of the video, so you had to listen to it. Okay, let's start out with the game. I had the white pieces. I played e4. My opponent went c5, knight f3, d6, so he recognizes a Sicilian. I play the open Sicilian, so this is all main line, and knight f6, attacking the e-pawn, knight c3, defending it, and now g6, the characteristic move of the Sicilian Dragon. So yes, my opponent is taking on one of the sharpest positions in chess. And this game is a good illustration of why I gave up playing the dragon. So I played f3 here. There's a little trick. If you play bishop e3, which is the main move, and black plays knight here to harass the bishop, then you have this check. And if you block with the bishop, the knight is hanging. So that's because of the pin. So it's a little trick. So that's why you can play this bishop here. And then after black plays bishop to g7, then f3 is played, because at this point there actually is a threat of knight g4, and the check is answered by king to f8. So I don't know if that's any good, but that is a reason why it no longer loses material and knight g4 is possible. And so at this point, white plays f3. But aside from that little trick, there's no particular reason why you should play bishop to e3 or f3 in any particular order. And so I just play f3 here. And sometimes it confuses people who are expecting the bishop e3 move, because that's the most common move. But in fact, we just transpose right back into the main line after these two moves. Okay, my opponent goes knight c6. I go queen d2. He castles, and I castle. Now, castling is one of two choices here. The other choice that white has is to play bishop to c4, with the idea of clamping down on the d5 push, which is a move that black would like to get in. So when you castle queenside, you're allowing d5, and in fact that's the main move here. Black should just play, or can just play d5, and you get an interesting and complicated position. Or black can take the knight. Sometimes that's played here. A move that's not played here, however, is knight to e5, which is what my opponent played. Knight to e5 is often played in the Sicilian, just not in this particular position, with the idea of coming into c4, forking these two pieces, and forcing a trade of one bishop or the other. But you have to get the rook or something on the c-file first before you can play the knight there. So the knight hopping here is maybe a little bit premature, and so it doesn't make any particular threat, and I can just continue with the kingside attack. Now I should continue. I played h4. Actually, I should continue with g4 because g4 prevents his knight from coming to h4, and then I can follow with h4. But anyway, I played h4 here. He went b6, setting up the fianchetto of his bishop. I went g4, so now it's all good. We've transposed back into a line I would have gotten into if I'd played g4, and he goes bishop b7. And by now, after I got in that g4 and h4, at that point, I really have a winning attack at this point. Already, this has gone wrong for black. He needed to do something before this point. And I did show you the main line already. There are probably other ways to play it, but he's already in big trouble. And so I continue right here, just pushing on h5. He plays rook c8, so now he's threatening to bring the knight into c4 with this idea, but I strike first. And he has no time for knight c4 now. I will just trade and then grab another pawn, so I'll be 2 pawns up. So he takes back. He takes back with the knight. And why this is fatal is that I've opened the h-file and have all these pieces ready to come over to the h-file. Queen h2 is a really strong move here, but I played differently. Oh, this was a funny arrow. Sorry about that. Queen and the bishop are lined up on that diagonal, and also the queen can come to h2. I played a different move here, which is also good, bishop to h6, and I'm just threatening to take the bishop and then come in with the queen with check. He tries to counterattack in the center and hit the knight with e5, but I just ignore it. He doesn't really have time to take that knight. I'm going to take the rook next, so he grabs the bishop. My queen comes in with check. His king ran to h8. Doesn't really matter too much where it goes. And now I can save my knight and hop into f5, coincidentally threatening checkmate here on g7. He goes rook g8, defending against the checkmate, but now he's losing material. There's different ways to do this. I think rook takes d6 is a clever move here that could be played, bringing this piece into the attack. But I just played the simple move g5, which is also good. You just hit this knight. He needs that knight to defend the h7 square because that's mate. So anyway, he finds a way to avoid getting mated immediately, but he loses material. He places queen over here. I had to think for a while. Actually, it is. I looked at it later. It is playable just to drop the queen back to h2 and just continue with the attack. But I said, well, why don't I just trade queens and go into a position where I'm a piece up. So I take his queen, he took back with the knight, and then I grab the knight here. And incidentally, in addition to being a piece up, I have this dangerous pawn here blocking the escape route of the king. So the king at this moment has no moves. He tries to unwind. He starts with knight d7, also attacking this pawn. And maybe if the rook will move out of the way, then his king will have an escape square. But it's actually too late. I play knight takes d6, and this is a monster move with 3 different threats. Threatens knight takes f7 checkmate because the king has no moves and that square is not protected. It's also threatening knight takes rook, winning the exchange, and it's threatening knight takes bishop, winning another piece. So I'm going to be at least 2 pieces up at this point, and so my opponent resigned. So that was the end of the game. And that's why I don't play the dragon anymore. The thing is, if you know the theory, it's playable. I don't want to give you the wrong impression that playing the dragon is losing. But you really have to know the theory. And if you wander a little bit away from the theory and you're just on your own, White's attack is just really easy to play. That was really straightforward. And just push all those pawns forward, open up a line to the king, and checkmate him. Pretty simple way to play. So it's just a little too easy for the opposition. So I've given up the dragon. Okay, so that concludes this. I thought it was kind of an interesting game to highlight, since I was doing that Attack the King portion of the Middle Game series, another kind of attack on the king using the old Pawn Storm idea. So let's talk a little bit about the channel. Like I said, I'm very happy with how the channel went this year. In addition to the viewers, I'm also happy with the content I put up there. I think, and I plan to continue with the same kind of thing in the next year. I have 2 series going. I have the Middle Game series that I plan to continue, and I expect that to be a pretty long one. There's top 10 ideas, but for each idea I can do several videos to explain them. The longest one might be this first one because there's so many different ways to attack the king. But eventually I'll get on to idea number 2, is the isolated queen's pawn. And my idea with that series is to sort of alternate ideas between tactical ideas like those sacrificial attacks and positional ideas like the isolated queen's pawn. So we'll kind of go back and forth between those 2 ways of approaching the game. And then the other series, which I haven't updated for a while, is the opening basics. But I plan to get back to that and continue with the opening basics. So those are the 2 series that I plan to work on next year, in addition to the in addition to the usual Blitz games. And as you saw, I recently uploaded one Go video, and I'll do those as well. They won't be a main feature, but that was pretty well received. And as long as I get a decent response on those, I'll do the occasional beginner Go video. And I'm having fun with that as well, trying to learn it or remember it. And so, if there's anything you would like to see in this, in my videos in the next year, feel free to comment on this video and add your suggestions for things you would like to have me do. And in the meantime, hope you guys have a very happy holiday season, happy and safe. Remember, if you ever get tired of chess, it's always okay to take a break from it. Sometimes it's good to get away from it for a little while and come back to it in a week with a clear mind and a fresh point of view. So I highly recommend getting out and meeting with your friends, and if you live in a place where there's snow, going out and playing in the snow and that kind of stuff. So go out and have some fun, and I will see you in the new year. Bye.